Well, a little bit of everything, I think, in the next few days. I think we've just seen the JLS video and the lovely summary weather in that. We saw that last week. So different this week. Extreme weather we've talked about earlier in the last 30 years. We're seeing extreme weather in just 7 days. After highs of 27 degrees last week, a chance of some snow across the higher ground later this week. Let's take a look at the forecast. Well, the summary weather now a distant memory because things are so different over the next few days. A marked temperature change, a dip in temperatures from tomorrow, maybe a return to overnight frost later in the week, and some sleet and some snow across the Scottish Highlands and the Northern Alps come the end of the week too. As for this morning, well, most of the action across the north through western Scotland and parts of Northern Ireland here, outbreaks of rain, and to accompany the rainfall, strong winds. A windy day for all of us. The winds really a feature over the next few days. The strongest gusts and exposure of the north and the west. For the rest of us, a drier morning, and it will be relatively mild out there despite the cloud, the rain and the strong winds. The rain taking over much of Scotland over the next few hours, much of Northern Ireland. Strong gusts and exposure, thick low cloud, mist and fog, particularly around the hills and the coast. And the winds are really making things very choppy around the coast as well, taking the edge off the temperatures for a time. Outbreaks of rain also into the northwest of England, northern parts of Wales. As for the southwest, patchy rain and drizzle for the hills and the coast, and here's some mist and fog. For the rest of us, drier, but the sunshine will be limited by the cloud and generally very blustery out there all day. That main batch of rain across Scotland making some headway into northern England later. Behind this, blustery frequent showers, really nasty downpours, but some clearer breaks, and then down to the south and the east, well, a little drier, a little brighter here. Down in the southeast, ahead of the rain, staying warm or mild. For the north, behind the rain, much cooler, much fresher, and generally across the north drying up later. The rain moves into the south, and then tomorrow, so much cooler, so much fresher for all of us as temperatures dip. Well, we were talking about weather extremes in the next 30 years a little earlier. As for this week, weather extremes of our own in just 7 days. This time last week, strong hot sunshine. Today, very different, windy, cloudy, with outbreaks of rain. And come tomorrow, temperatures nearly 10 degrees lower than what we saw this time last week. It's all change. Out there this morning, much of the action across the northwest through western central Scotland, parts of northwestern Ireland. Here, outbreaks of rain to coincide with the rush hour, miserable and wet initially, with strong gusty winds for the north and the west initially. But on the whole, staying mild and away from the north and the west, it is a drier and for some of us brighter morning. Across much of Scotland and Northern Ireland as the morning continues, thick low cloud, mist and fog around the hills and the coast giving poor visibility, heavy persistent rain at times, and to accompany the wet weather, gusty winds, really blowy for a time and exposure, taking the edge from the temperatures. The rain also sneaking its way into the northwest of England, parts of the Isle of Man, into northern Wales. For the southwest, patchy light rain and drizzle around the hills and the coasts. And here, mist and murk around these areas too, maybe some patches of fog. Away from these areas, drier and a little brighter, maybe some breaks in the cloud, but on the whole, plenty of cloud and staying very blustery, very windy out there all day. The rain making some headway into northern England later. Behind it, cooler, fresher conditions and frequent blustery showers, some of these nasty downpours across Northern Ireland and Scotland. To the south and east, drier, maybe a tad brighter here. But on the whole, plenty of cloud and staying really quite breezy. Ahead of the rain, we're staying mild or warm, 21 degrees the high. For the north, much cooler, much fresher, but here it will be drying up later. And then tomorrow, it's all change as far as the temperatures are concerned. So much lower than they have been, so much cooler and fresher.